Hey everybody, I'm Philip, and let's talk about NXT Takeover 31. This show takes place in the Capitol Wrestling Center. I have never heard of that. The show opens with a video package highlighting Vince Sr. It ties into the Capitol Wrestling Center, so I thought that was interesting, and Triple H had sent out a message saying that the look for TakeOver was going to be different and look different. All it ended up being was a combination of Thunderdome mixed with like usual NXT in Full Sail aesthetic. So we'll see how that plays out for the night. Also, there is a small crowd around the ring, kind of like they did before with the plexiglass. So we'll see how that factors in and how it contributes to the matches and whatnot. And finally, another change, we have Vic Joseph replacing Mauro Ranallo. I'm interested to see how this goes. I mean, look at him. Looks so cute. Joining him are Beth Phoenix and Wade Barrett. And without further ado, let's get right into the show. The first match is for the North American Championship. The champion, Damien Priest, is defending against Johnny Failure. I mean Johnny Gargano. Sorry. Whoops. So Johnny's streak of awful looking ring jackets at TakeOver continues. His gear always looks great, like underneath. Well, Johnny always looks great underneath. Anyway, but his jackets just are awful. I think this was him and Candice had some kind of a Star Wars theme going on, so I could let it slide, but I'm just generally not a fan of his ring jackets, especially at TakeOvers. This match was all about, we had Priest versus Gargano, so it's all about Johnny's speed and cunning versus Priest's power and range. And that's what the entire match was. A couple of cool spots that really stuck out to me. Damien Priest went for the his spin wheel kick, and he missed it prior, but then Johnny's on the apron getting ready to do something, and Priest does his spin wheel kick to Johnny on the apron. And then towards the end we had Damien Priest was trying to get to Gargano, who kept kind of weaseling away on the outside. He had enough of it, so he jumped over the top rope to the outside and took out two random crew members. While the ref was attending to them, Johnny hit a low blow on Priest, got him back in the ring, and put him in the Gargano escape. Priest gets out of it, Johnny drags him back in, and then does like an STF version of the Gargano escape, which I thought looked freaking awesome. Priest eventually escapes from that. The end of this match comes when Gargano is going for one final beat, his a slingshot DDT. Priest catches him and then kind of places him in between the middle and top rope, and then hits his crossroads, which he calls the Reckoning, to retain the title. This match was good. I said it was speed versus power primarily, and cunning and all of that. I don't know what I can say about Johnny at this point. I love NXT, but their booking of him has been atrocious. And I love Damien Priest. I still can't believe this is Punishment Martinez. That just baffles me. I used to loathe this man, and he's freaking awesome now. But it's just how do you get Gargano so wrong? Yeah. So Johnny Failure lives on. Next we have Kushida versus the Velveteen Dream. Full disclosure, I fast forwarded to the end of the match. I refuse to watch a full match with Patrick Clark in it. He should not be on a TakeOver. He should not be in NXT. He should not be working in WWE in any capacity right now. He should have been let go. I don't want to get too much into it. Obviously, this is my opinion. If you disagree, totally fine. I just think it's kind of disgusting on a, not only just an ethical, but kind of a personal level. Yeah, I just don't want to delve into that right now. Let's just say it disgusts me on more levels than it would most. And yeah, so I didn't watch this match in its full entirety. I did see that Dream came out as Doc Brown, which I thought was kind of gross, since Kushida's whole thing he cosplays as Marty McFly. The end of this one comes when Kushida counters a Death Valley driver into the hoverboard lock, and it looked really good. But more importantly, Kushida snapped at the end of this match. He kept attacking Dream and working over his arm in various submission holds. If having the match with Dream led to this, then fine. Kushida finally feels like he has a personality now, instead of just being Back to the Future cosplayer. I've always thought Kushida's gimmick held him back, even in New Japan. I liked him there too, but it just seemed like the gimmick he has puts a ceiling on himself. So I'm hoping we kind of shy away from this, because there was a gauntlet match a week or two ago on NXT with Kushida and Kyle O'Reilly, and it was amazing. And it just felt like Kushida was more in his element, like he hasn't been really for me since New Japan. Yeah, give me a half hour with those two in the future, please. But yeah, it was really cool to see Kushida kind of become something more than Marty McFly, which I've never been a fan of. So I was big fan of the way this ended. Next, we have for the Cruiserweight Championship, we have Santos Escobar versus Isaiah Swerve Scott, who is one of those people whose name cannot be said without saying all three parts. So take a drink every time anyone says Isaiah Swerve Scott, because that's all they call him in this match. Swerve, unfortunately, still has his Jizztron and awful music. When he first came to NXT, his music was awesome, and his Tron didn't look like, happy ending. I don't get why they changed it personally, but I don't know. This match was a good match. It wasn't great. I don't think it ever went into like an extra gear, but the gear it was in was really good. Swerve had a lot of time to shine in this match, and I appreciated that because I knew of Swerve before NXT, but I'd never actually seen him a whole lot. So all I really know of him in ring is from NXT, and this match was a good showcase for him. And, Santos Escobar, I have followed since Lucha Underground. I think he's so awesome. He's like my second favorite guy from season 1 after Pentagon. Just to see him in NXT is really cool. As said, this match was good. Eventually, Legado del Fantasma comes out to do their interference thing. Somebody came out to help that I don't, Ashanti, someone. I don't know who that is, so I can't really speak to anything about him, but he ran them off. But before he did, Swerve had crotched Escobar on the top rope, and then Swerve did while Escobar is on the top rope, Swerve did a Hurricane Rana from the ropes to the outside, and it looked a lot more dangerous for Isaiah than it did for Santos Escobar. Eventually, Escobar hits the Phantom Driver, and Swerve kicks out. That surprised me. Escobar does a Three Amigos, and then goes up for the worst looking frog splash. It was the frog splash to Santos Escobar is like the elbow drop to CM Punk. Just don't do it. The end of this one comes when Swerve gets pushed. Santos and Swerve are on the outside on the ring apron. Swerve gets pushed back, grazes his head on the metal part of the turnbuckle. This is the turnbuckle, and there's that metal part. Swerve hits his head on it. Then while Swerve is dazed, Santos hits this really cool looking double underhook face breaker for the win. I like that move a lot. So a good end to a decent match. I like the move. I like the match. We now have this Ashanti guy in the mix, which is cool, new blood. And yeah, we'll see where this goes. Next we have for the NXT Women's Championship, the champion Io Shirai defends against the Poison Pixie, Candice LeRa. I'm all about being honest and being upfront. I also, in the same vein, I will also eat crow when the time is right. And I think now the time is right. I did not like Candice LeRa for years. I don't know if it was her association with Joey Ryan, but she's grown on me a lot. And she has a character now. Like, you get yourself a character and to develop yourself, I'm probably gonna like you more. And that's happened here. This match was very, very solid. I don't think it was either woman's best match ever, but it also wasn't, worst match of the night either. It was very proficient, very smooth. Io hit a beautiful acai moonsault from the outside to Candice. It was picture perfect. Candice goes for a slap to Io. Io kind of ducks it and transitions into a crossface, and then Candice gets to the ropes, gets out of the crossface, and transitions into the Gargano escape. That whole sequence was well done. Eventually we get a ref bump when Candice and Io are at the ropes, and Candice back elbows the referee. And then we get more ref bump when Io is going for her moonsault, misses, and then just plows into the referee. That brings Johnny Gargano out in a ref shirt. And then there was a funny moment where Johnny is arguing with the ref. By this point, Johnny has the women's championship in his hand and sneakily drops it to Candice to use. Io still kicks out. I just thought that the exchange between Johnny and the referee was really funny. The end comes when Io hits a really nice Spanish fly into another moonsault to win. This match was good for what it was, no complaints, but the big news is at the end. After the match, Io was in the ring for longer than usual, so I was kind of waiting for something to happen. And then all of a sudden someone appears on the Tron. The Trons are really interestingly placed in this arena. It's on the sides and in the front. I like the way it looked, because where the sides were is where the LED crowd was. I think it looked way better than Thunderdome normally, personally. But it was Toni Storm. I'm a huge Toni Storm fan, so marking out, bro. Yeah, I was very happy. Tony Storm says she is back in NXT. I am all for that. I'm all for that. I love Tony Storm. I wish she would have her old theme song back, the one that sounds like Motley Crue, because she's a huge Motley Crue fan like myself. And she probably won't, which will make me sad, but I hope she does. But she won't, but I hope she does. And then the one thing that was spoiled for me because of YouTube, and then we see like someone outside on like a motorbike, and it's green, it's not green screen, it's night vision, like green looking, and they're driving and they pull up to the building and they go in. And unfortunately, this was spoiled for me earlier in the day because I didn't get to watch Takeover until way later due to 31 Days of Horror this month over on the Film Channel. Cheap plug. So I couldn't watch the pay-per-view until after I was done watching and recording and editing the video for tonight's 31 Days of Horror. Also, unfortunately, I saw that Ember Moon returned, and I was really disappointed that I knew I don't like spoilers at all. I hate spoilers. So this really bummed me out that I knew she was coming back because I love Ember Moon as well. I'm glad she's back. I hope that she can wrestle, and I hope that she has a better run back in NXT than she did on the main roster, which could be said for most people. Speaking of people who've had a better run in NXT than the main roster, let's go to the main event. This is for the NXT Championship. It is the champion, Finn Balor, the Prince versus Kyle O'Reilly. Again, I might say it a lot and I'm sorry, but full disclosure, my notes for this are this. Like, this is the women's championship match, and this is the cruiserweight championship match, and this is Kushida. But my notes for Balor versus O'Reilly are just this little bit here. And here's why. I've been a fan of both men for the better part of a decade. I love Finn Balor. I discovered him as Prince Devitt in New Japan. I love Kyle O'Reilly. I discovered him back in Ring of Honor when he was him and Bobby Fischer were known as Red Dragon. I knew of him when he was teaming with Adam Cole. I think they were Future Shock at the time. So I've been following them for a long time. So for me, this was a dream match, and one that I just wanted to soak it in, because how often am I going to get like my top two favorite guys in more ways than one wrestling each other? And this match was so good. It got about a half hour, which is what I wanted. And it was brutal. I don't even have moves or anything written down. I was just so absorbed in this match. So I'm sorry to do a disservice to the match by not, giving any information on it, but it was something I had to kind of just lose myself in and escape in the moment, because I'm probably not going to get this for a long time. And yeah, it was everything I wanted it to be, aside from Kyle winning, which he didn't. Finn hit the coup de grace to pin Kyle O'Reilly and retain the championship. After the match, then we see this big dude carrying out Adam Cole, who's obviously been beaten up. I thought it was Pat McAfee at first. Apparently it's some guy named Ridge Holland. I don't know who that is, because the show ends with Roderick Malenko's really bad acting. Like, I love Roddy in the ring. Stop letting him talk. He's an awful actor. His delivery is horrible. Ending on Roderick's horrible delivery, notwithstanding that, the show overall was good. Being honest, for me, this was a one-match card, and that was the main event. To circle back on some stuff I brought up in the beginning, Vic Joseph on commentary was a welcome change of pace from Morrow, because everyone had a chance to talk, and if they interrupted somebody, they apologized and then let them speak. It wasn't like overbearing and I gotta get my stuff in and pop culture shoehorned in references all night. I loved Morrow's energy and his excitement for the product, but he was so overbearing, and just I thought he was disrespectful to the other commentators. Vic, I like him. Wade Barrett needs a little work. He tends to repeat himself a little too much, but I'm not going to fault him for it. And that's something I also want to circle back to, the crowd. Having the scattering of people around the ring. I thought it was nice. It was a nice change of pace. I miss crowds terribly. Crowds for me are something I feed off of when I watch wrestling. It's a very important part to me. I'm that guy that will go back and watch reaction videos over and over and over, because just the crowd noise, like when the Hardys came back at WrestleMania. I've seen that video like at least 100 times, just because that noise and that pop, it's one of the best things in wrestling to me. And not only do we get to hear an actual group of people, like a crowd, but it makes the awful canned crowd noise that much more bearable. I hate the canned crowd noise. I would rather just be silent than that. Yeah, the crowd there, cool. I hope they're being safe, though. There have been some reports that they haven't been. And as I said, this was a one-match show, but it wasn't an awful show. The only match that really felt like a takeover match to me was the main event. For me, the best thing that came out of this show was proving what I've known for a long time, that Kyle O'Reilly is main event material. He gels well with everyone. His style is so cool. That kind of ground and pound submission, like jiu-jitsu, I think, style he has. I think overall it was just showing that he can be a main event talent. I think he could fill the void that Gargano and Sami Zayn used to fill, of that underdog babyface who can get the crowd behind him. I honestly believe he could be NXT's newest babyface in the main event scene, and I hope that's where they go with him. I hope this isn't just now overshadowing to Adam Cole and this Ridge Holland guy and Finn Balor. I keep Kyle up there. This match was a treat to watch. So on this match alone, I love the show. And that wraps up NXT TakeOver 31. As always, I don't have a fancy outro, so I will say thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.